Good evening, and welcome to the 12th annual Down and Out Homeless Fundraiser. We're your MCs for the evening. I'm Jen.
And I'm Taylor. We are usually talking to you on air from Life 107.1, but tonight we are excited to be coming to you live from the new Joppa Center.
Now, I know this year has been strange and difficult for everyone because of the pandemic, and we really wish we could all be together in person tonight. But instead, you can dress down and stay in while still making a difference in your community. So, wherever you are, on your couch or at the dining room table, watching on your phone or your computer, thank you for tuning in tonight.
In the next hour, you're going to learn all about Joppa. You'll hear some exciting announcements, you'll watch inspiring videos, and then you'll have an opportunity to purchase some critical Fund a Need items to help homeless people survive the brutal cold this winter.
Today what we're doing is Joppa Workday. They're putting a new space in to better serve the community, and we're doing some of the background work to get it all set up and ready to go.
Today we're volunteering at the Joppa Center and we're organizing their new supplies.
We're just here helping Joppa move into their new place and just get organized.
We're helping out getting the shelving from the old Joppa warehouse and moving it into the new space.
I am sorting through all of the shampoo, conditioner, body wash.
I am sorting clothes. I'm sorting baby clothes for the clients of Joppa.
I'm working here today to separate out the food and get it in a refrigerator or freezer.
I'm simply taking donated food items and we're organizing them to store for later, that to be taken out directly to the campsites.
To care for the people that are out in the community needing what Joppa has to offer.
I volunteer at Joppa because I like to give back to my neighbors, and we have a lot of fun. It's a great group of people.
And I'm volunteering because I know that these are necessary things that you don't necessarily think about what life would be like if you didn't have them.
I want to help those less fortunate, the homeless, and I think it's a great service.
Really why I'm here is because I believe in the mission that Joppa does, and they just do such a good job and I want to help them.
You really see the impact right away.
I really want people to be warm this winter, especially the coming season.
I love being a part of the community, and I wanted to give back.
I like what they're doing as far as helping out the homeless.
I help out here because I love the community and I think that everyone deserves a shot.
I volunteer for Joppa because that's how I live out the faith that I have. I believe Christ would want us to be caring for each other, doing things for each other, and there are a lot of people that need housing, that need some food, that need all of the things that Joppa is supplying for them, helping them to move forward with their lives. And I just feel like that's where my heart is, being part of that movement of lifting people up and caring for their needs.
Now, Joppa wouldn't be able to touch so many lives without volunteers. Thank you to everyone who has stepped up to help, especially during this past year.
Yeah, this year was certainly a big one for Joppa. So for more on that, we're going to hear from Jacki Stevens, CEO and co-founder.
Good evening. My name is Joe. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Joppa. Thank you for joining us this evening for our 12th annual Down and Out Homeless Fundraiser. We're glad you tuned in to hear about the work we're doing. And for those of you that are just learning about us, Joppa helps homeless people survive, find housing, and rebuild their lives. Our mission is to create communities of unconditional love, support, and hope for the homeless as we work together to prevent and ultimately end homelessness. So how do we do this? Joppa visits people living under bridges, in tents, and vehicles at least once each week, 52 weeks per year, regardless of weather. Most people living in these conditions have exhausted all resources, utilized all the time allowed in shelters, and simply have no place to go. We help people get off the streets and then continue in our relationship through our aftercare and Circle of Friends programs. Our ultimate goal is to end homelessness. We've helped nearly 450 families and individuals get off the streets, and today more than 80% of these men, women, and children remain in housing. But we won't be satisfied until we have the support systems in place as a community to help anyone in need get back into housing before they become chronically homeless. Homeless people need us now more than ever. Imagine being homeless and not having a place to quarantine from the virus or recover from being sick, much less wash your hands. More people are losing their income and being evicted from their homes, which is why we're seeing a significant increase in first-time homeless people on our streets. This year, even as other organizations close their doors, Joppa has thankfully remained open to provide services to those who need us. We follow all CDC and state guidelines and, thank God, have had no incidents to date. In February, we had to move from the East Village to our new location on Euclid. This new facility provides additional space and opportunities to help more people. Which brings me to our first announcement this evening. When construction is completed, our new location will feature Iowa's first Homeless Resource Center. This resource center will be a warm and welcoming place for homeless people to stop in, visit, check their mail, get some food, fill their water bottles, charge their phones, and grab some supplies. The Resource Center will feature computer stations, job assistance, and housing navigation, along with a full-time manager plus a caseworker. We are in the midst of a mini capital campaign to fund this project. Our goal is to open February 1st, but we need your help to get there. If you're interested in learning more about this capital campaign, I would love an opportunity to sit down with you and visit. But tonight, you will all have the opportunity to contribute and help us open this Homeless Resource Center. Our second big announcement this evening, Joppa is launching a thrift store. The first location will be right here next to Joppa on Euclid. We call it Thrift Mart, and Thrift Mart will provide Joppa a sustainable source of income for its programs and services, while providing job training for homeless people and a way for Joppa to eventually expand into other cities. As you can see, work has already begun on this store, and with your continued support, we hope to open in spring of 2021. Finally, I want to give you an update on our efforts in housing development. As many of you know, the main cause of homelessness is the lack of housing that people can actually afford. That's why Joppa is building permanent cottage homes with rents ranging from $250 to just $750. We've designed cottage homes for seniors, veterans, disabled, and formerly homeless individuals living on fixed incomes of less than $1,000 a month. Last year, we built our first cottage home in the Cheatham Park neighborhood. Wells Fargo has provided a challenge grant, and we hope to raise the additional funds to build 6 more of these permanent cottage home rental units next year. However, currently homeless people still need a safe place to go to gain a source of income and overcome any barriers before moving into permanent housing. That's why we have proposed a transitional tiny home village based on successful models operating throughout the country. Which brings me to our third and final announcement this evening. We are excited to announce Joppa Loft Cottages. These transitional cottages replace our original tiny home design and feature full bathrooms, kitchenettes, and of course, lofts. Joppa Loft Cottages are solar ready and can be panel built by corporations, churches, and schools. We continue to work closely with city, county, and neighborhood officials to find a suitable location for this village, which will immediately provide transitional housing for 50 people living under bridges, in tents, and in vehicles to get the help they need. Joppa depends on private funding from our financial partners, and tonight is our biggest fundraiser of the year, which funds critical services to help people survive, find housing, and rebuild their lives. We can't do this alone. We need your partnership and financial support to continue our work.
We have an obligation as a people and as Iowans to recognize and do everything we can to help our homeless.
We know that cold weather is coming, we know that hardships come, and we know that all of us need to think together, work together, hope together, and pray together to help those that are less fortunate.
Tonight, you can help us save lives this winter and help us open the Homeless Resource Center with your generous gifts. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you will find this event informative and will be inspired to engage with Joppa to help us end homelessness. And now, I'd like you to meet our friends, Ashley and Nelson.
To be outside in this environment, it was completely different for me. I grew up playing sports. I did softball all year round. I swam year round. I went to the Junior Olympics in swimming. I had the home run record at Hoover, first team all conference. Graduated with a 3.7, top 7% of my class. I had a full life going for me, and I didn't expect to be homeless. I never did.
I went to Earlham High School, and I got into football, and that was really great, and I was really good at football. And then my mom, she had a gastric bypass that went bad, and she had nerve damage. She was all strung out on these pills. And then my dad had an aortic aneurysm that almost killed him, and he had to take early retirement. You know, my sister had been in and out of trouble with drugs, and I started selling drugs, and I thought that I was doing the right thing by taking care of my family. And we got in a big fight over money. Then I moved back to Iowa, and that's when I met Ashley. She was just way different than anybody I'd ever met before.
I worked at DMAC Urban Campus as a secretary.
She would sit at her desk and you would ask her a question and she would answer it, but then she would like pull her hair and go back to doing her work, and she was just super shy, and at first I didn't think she liked me. I finally worked up the courage to ask her what she was doing.
He started going outside and he was like, "What are you having for lunch?" And I was like, "Popcorn." He started screaming.
From inside the building, but like out the door, I hope it's good. Your popcorn, you know? And I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. And, you know, a couple days later, we just started going on walks.
We started dating a month later. He asked me to marry him 2 months later. And then I said yes. So we've been together ever since.
And, you know, I don't know where it all went wrong.
We moved in together. And then we fell on hard times and moved back in with his parents. I have spondylosis arthritis, degenerative back disease, bulged discs, and they cut my L4, L5 and fused my spine.
My dad drove us around. Where do you want to go? Like, I don't have anywhere to go, Dad. And finally he's like, I don't really care, get out of my car. And that's where he dropped us off. A lot of people out here have bipolar disorders, have schizophrenics, and they've just been run off by everybody that was supposed to love them, you know? And we're all human. Maybe that guy at the end of the on-ramp, he could have been completely normal at one point and then got stuck out here and then just accepted that as life. You know, it's not easy getting a job and an apartment and all that, and when you don't have somewhere safe to even store your things,
yeah,
it's like you might as well just get comfortable where you're at.
What happened is we went to Park Fair Mall. Nelson and I got off the bus and he went into Walgreens. I didn't see him go into Walgreens. And then we got separated. I did what I normally do. I call, you know, all the hospitals. I call Joppa. I call the shelter. I even look online at the library to see if, you know, Polk County, if he was there. But there was nothing there. So I ended up going to the east side, and I ran into people that we used to tent with, and I thought that I could trust them. So I started going, you know, with him to look around because he said, I'll help you look for him. Well, it started to get dark, and he takes me to this tent. I remember taking a drink of my soda, and then nothing else. And then I would start waking up, off and on, and there'd be different men in front of me. And they were doing things to me, and there was a lock on the door. He left his knife there one day, and I ended up cutting myself out of the tent, and I ran. And I went to the hospital, and I got myself checked because word on the street was he had AIDS and Hep C, and I was almost 6 months pregnant when this all happened, and it wasn't just one man. It's affected my life with my husband. It's affected my life going outside my home. It's affected my life going on the bus. I shake thinking about it. I have nightmares. Maybe if there was a little more help, and there was a little more people that wanted to hear the people whose voice who are out here, who are struggling, who are hurting, who are being hurt, that it would make a difference. And that's what we have here today. Joppa's taking the time to hear me and my voice. And I didn't have one until now. I want to say this first and foremost. When I was homeless while pregnant, I went to every shelter and got turned down from every single one of them. One, because I didn't have a child with me by my side. He was not born yet, so I could not go there. Another one, because it was not safe for me after what happened to me. It's not a choice. And, you know, for people who think that it is, I had my life, you know, I had a full life going for me. And I didn't expect to be homeless. I never did. And that's something that came into my life, and you have to fight. And in order to fight, you have to have other people that help you. You cannot do everything on your own. You just physically, mentally, and emotionally can't. So the fact that Joppa was there and helped, what can you say? Thanks isn't even enough.
You know, if it wasn't for Joppa, my child definitely wouldn't have survived. I feel like the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold and not having the food on a regular basis.
It was extremely hard being pregnant.
Yeah.
The heaters, the propane blankets, we wouldn't have survived. We wouldn't have known of other organizations that they turn you to for extra help as well. I mean, to get things going and to get things started, to like move forward in your life, we would have been clueless. We didn't know about any of those services. And without Joppa there, my family would not be in the home where we're at. We would still be here where you see. So right now we are sitting in our new apartment, our humble abode.
Our humble abode.
Our humble abode. So Abraham was born February 11th, 2020 at 10:40 at night. My water breaks here. I get rushed to the hospital. I'm 8 centimeters dilated. He was already coming. My doctor wasn't there yet.
No epidural.
No epidural, no pain medicine.
No pain medicine.
No.
There wasn't time.
He just
got to the
came,
hospital and
he
30
said, I'm here,
minutes
Mom.
later, 30 minutes later, he was out.
You take for granted tons and tons and tons of things.
Like security, you know, locked door.
And privacy.
You know?
We finally get a chance to close the door, be a family, turn on a movie and watch it together, take showers, and just
Sleep.
sit down and live.
I feel comfortable now again, first time in a couple of years, and it feels really good to have that door. I look at that door sometimes and I'm just like, yeah, I got a door now.
And we're also on the aftercare program with Joppa. That means when you're in a home and you're in a stable environment that is not outside, they come to your home every Sunday. And they bring items like food, personal hygiene.
And they brought
So
hand
it's-
sanitizer and
toilet paper,
sanitizing wipes, which is great with the coronavirus going around, and toilet paper.
and having a little one.
Yeah, and
So it's
diapers.
huge.
Without Joppa, then we wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been able to get back on my feet for her, for my kid.
We just want to say thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
for everything.
Thank
And
you.
even just to say thank you, it doesn't feel like it's enough, honestly. So we wouldn't be here as a family without your help. And we truly just, from the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It reminds me how much I take for granted.
Yeah.
When Ashley said that they could just sit down in their house and live.
Have a locked door.
Have a locked door. Just sit and look at the door.
Yeah.
You know, and how much that door meant. I mean, what a story. It really just shows how often it just takes one or two tragic events to change the course of someone's life and leave them on the streets.
Now, we do want to remind you that you can donate to Joppa at any time. Click that blue donate button. If you're on your computer, it's to the right of the video. If you're on your phone, scroll down. You'll find it just beneath the video. And remember, all donations are tax deductible. They will fund homeless outreach and winter survival programs, really important right now. Your gifts will help more people like Ashley and Nelson get back into housing and rebuild their lives.
Don't forget, keep bidding on that perfect smile package in the silent auction. Bidding is going to close at 9 p.m. tonight. That's just about an hour after the event. Now, if you have questions at any time, use the chat feature to talk to the Joppa Communications Director.
We'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsors for this event. Mid-American Energy and Ballast Capital are the premier sponsors for our Down and Out Homeless Fundraiser this year. We'd also like to recognize our sponsors BSB Design, Des Moines Printing, Polk County, Veridian Credit Union, and Wells Fargo.
And now, We're excited to add these sponsorships to our thermometer.
Yeah.
We're now that much closer to reaching our goal and being able to help even more homeless people survive, find housing, and rebuild their lives. Thank you to our sponsors.
It really is exciting to see that thermometer fill up. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated so far this evening. Now, before we get to our Fund a Need items, I'd like to welcome Joppa volunteer and donor Chad Borgstad, who's joining us with some tips about charitable giving before the end of the year.
Hey, good evening. We're so glad that you're joining us here for the Down and Out Homeless Fundraiser for Joppa. My name is Chad Borgstad. My wife and I started volunteering a few months ago, taking care of clients' needs as well as sorting food. One of the areas that I am plugged into is helping nonprofits in the world of fundraising. And so as this event came closer, I shared with Joe that I wanted to be involved and help share some opportunities that I felt were important to know and beneficial for all of us that have to do with what's called the CARES Act. The CARES Act came about once COVID hit, and it allows deductions to be made at greater levels for this year only in 2020. I want to just touch base on 3 of these. There's a few more, but these 3 are the key ones that I think really make a difference. So for many of you who may give away lots of funds, and you normally give away 60% of your charitable donation deductions, this year, you can actually claim a deduction of 100% of your adjusted gross income. So that's a 40% increase from what you used to be able to deduct off your adjusted gross income for this year only, before the end of the year. The other area is for anyone who owns a business, small or large, doesn't matter the size. In the past, the charitable deduction limit for businesses was only 10%. This year only, a business can actually deduct up to 25%. So that's a 15% increase that you can give through your business and have it be a write-off. And then the third area that I just wanted to touch base affects all of us, and that's this. This year only, before the end of the year, you can actually deduct $300 without itemizing any of it. So again, there's a lot of benefits right now to the CARES Act. I wanted to share those with you all so that you would be thinking about those as you think about, how do I come alongside and partner with Joppa as we all are doing tonight?
Thanks, Chad. Now it's time for our important Fund a Need items.
Now, if you're on your computer, you can see a list of all the Fund a Need items in the right-hand column under Donation Options. If you're on your phone, scroll down until you see About Joppa. Use the right arrow to scroll past Silent Auction until you see Donation Options.
So we'll introduce these items one by one, and as you can see, there are 3 levels of funding for each item, so plenty of opportunities to donate and make a difference. Anytime you want to purchase something, just click the item and click Donate to add it to your cart.
Now, as a reminder, you're not bidding against anyone. Everyone is encouraged to purchase these tax-deductible Fund a Need items. You buy them tonight here at the fundraiser, and Joppa is going to deliver them to those most in need through our weekly outreach and aftercare programs. So we can all come together to help homeless people in our community survive this Iowa winter.
Our first item is food security and household necessities. Let's see why this is so important to homeless and recently homeless individuals.
Long story short, with an EBT card, you can't get any pre-prepared food. It has to be something that you have to prepare yourself, something packaged or
Pre-packaged and uncarved.
some places you can't even get like fresh fruit or some of the healthier items on a SNAP card.
No toilet paper, no paper towels, no toothpaste, toothbrush, no anything. So when Joppa comes on Sunday, they definitely do everything that they can. And today is Sunday. So they came a few hours before we started doing our interview, which was very, very helpful.
Now, our friends here at Joppa have a very important mission to help the homeless, but also to end homelessness. So when somebody is able to get into a home, an apartment, or some kind of home like that, they still have what's called an aftercare program. They check in on them. Now, Taylor, did you know that the average apartment costs about $800 a month?
Which would be fine, except clients who live on some of that supplemental income usually make around $771 a month, so just almost there to be able to afford rent.
There's a gap there. And government assistance only goes so far. In fact, government assistance pretty much only covers about 3 out of 4 weeks in a month. So there's a whole week there there's a gap. Also, did you know, I didn't know this until today, many of those government programs, like for example, food stamps, which is now called SNAP, you can't use those to buy hygiene products or paper towels or toilet paper or any cleaning supplies. I had no idea.
So what ends up happening is you kind of get to this little, okay, here are the needs. I can eat, I can get transportation, I
Right.
can take care of my health, but I have to choose one.
Right. And I mean, nobody should have to make that choice. That is so difficult. So that is why you can donate to food security and household necessities right now. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Now, you have some options. You can fund $87 for one household for a month. You can do $520 for one household for 6 months, and $1,040 for one household for an entire year.
Now, the next several Fund a Need items will literally keep people from freezing to death in our community this winter. Our next item is winter survival shelters. Just imagine living outdoors in the middle of the winter here in Iowa, no place to go. To understand what that's like, let's hear from someone who's lived it.
Once I got in contact with Joppa, they got me a tent, which got me from sleeping on the floor. And I was able to at least have my own personal space and a shelter over my head, which to me was a godsend. I remember the first night that I slept there, I almost cried because I was so happy that I had space and I didn't have to get up in the wintertime and go out in the cold.
Even though I'm homeless, I did have a home because Joppa provided me with a tent.
When you have no place to go, the only place you can go is to the woods, and Joppa will help you survive outdoors.
When we first came down here, we had nothing, and Joppa, they gave us tents, they gave us blankets. It seems like they go out of their way to help you.
Okay, imagine living in a tent in the Iowa winter.
Yep.
But for some people, that is the option that they have. They have no immediate option for housing or shelter. So a tent like this one is something that they can do. And when you donate to the winter survival shelters, this is the type of tent that they're going to be getting.
So when you donate a complete package, there is the tent, there is a rain fly, the tarp, the sleeping bag, blankets, and a pillow. And these are specifically built to be reinforced to retain heat. Joppa helps them set up, which
is good.
If you've ever tried to put together a tent,
No.
I make all kinds of mistakes.
Nobody
doing that.
would let me try to set up a tent. So it's really wonderful that they have trained volunteers that come out and help them set up the tents. The fact is that they have to have some kind of a shelter. They're not even allowed to bring them heat or any kind of heating source unless they have a shelter. And that's why these tents are so cool. So I think you should go inside the tent.
Okay, I've been told I can do
He's
this.
going to go inside the tent real quickly because there's a sleeping bag in there, and it's really cool. This show them the thing underneath you.
Yeah, so this is a blanket made out of woven together trash bags, lovingly put together by some folks. Now, when you sponsor this, $150 is going to provide one shelter package, one of these with all this stuff in here. $750 is going to provide 5 shelter packages. And for $1,500, you can get 10 shelter packages.
The fact is that you can time out of homeless shelters. And so for some people, there is no other option except for a tent. They're nice tents, they're great tents, great sleeping bags that withstand the Iowa cold winter. And when you donate for one, it's $150. For 5, it's $750. And then for $1,500, 10 shelter packages that will be going to the homeless this winter.
These shelters are really where it all starts. It's kind of the foundation of being able to provide all the various needs, like the heaters, like the supplies. Once you can get safe in this during the Iowa winter, now you're in business, you can start helping out. So once again, $150 for one, $750 for 5, $1,500 are going to provide 10 shelter packages to people in need.
That's a pretty nice looking sleeping bag.
It's going to be very warm. It's going to keep you, we were just talking about the polar vortexes we've had in Iowa recently.
Oh my goodness.
And then you get the heavy winds. To have this, to get out of the wind, to be reinforced for the heat, to have Joppa folks coming in and checking on, making sure that it's still how it needs to be.
Yeah, that's definitely key. It's amazing that we have trained volunteers that will come and will take care of helping make sure that they're set up properly. for the not so handy among us, which I would be one of those.
Both of us.
So picture living in a tent this winter with no housing or shelter options. You would need a source of heat to keep from freezing to death. So let's learn more about Joppa winter survival heater systems.
I remember one time we were walking back to our tent and I tripped over something in the snow, and it was a guy who was curling up in a tent that had been laid down and was like passed out. If I wouldn't have stepped on him and tripped over him, that dude probably would have frozen to death.
Without the heaters that Joppa helps with,
And the propane?
and the heaters, the propane, we wouldn't have survived.
All right. Think about our Iowa winter. I know, I don't like thinking about Iowa winters,
Nobody
but just
does.
for a minute, think about the Iowa winter. We had, the warmest day in the world today, but it's not going to stay like this forever. It's going to get cold. And if you're outside and you're sleeping in a tent, you're absolutely going to need a source of heat.
But you can't just have any source of heat. You need something safe,
Yep.
something that's not going to catch fire. And so these winter survival heater systems, which, by the way, for $125, you can sponsor one heater system. For $625, 5 heater systems. And for $1,250, that is going to provide 10 heater systems. These are designed to shut off if it tips over. They're rated safe for indoor use in a closed environment. We are making sure that the folks who are using these are as safe and warm as possible.
Well, basically, they are the safest way that these shelters can be heated, which is really important. I mean, you want to make sure that they're safe as well. And of course, as with the shelters, Joppa makes sure that a trained volunteer comes and helps them set up the heat, make sure that it's in the proper place, that they're using it well, and that they're safe. And they do regular check-ins as well. So that is one of the many things that the amazing volunteers here at Joppa do. So with your gift of $125, that's one heater system. 5 heater systems is $625, and then 10 heater systems is $1,250. 10 heating sources for 10 different shelters this winter, and that will ensure that 10 people are going to have the proper heat that they need to get through one of our Iowa winters.
I think this is just the beautiful thing about what Joppa does, that it's not, here, I'm going to send you a need and then run away.
Right.
They're constantly in the lives of their clients. They're checking in on them, making sure they're safe, making sure they have the resources they need. And so once again, $1,250 gift. That's going to provide 10 heater systems. $625, 5 heater systems. $125 is 1 heater system. Whatever you can do, it is going to make a difference in somebody's life.
And we should probably mention that it includes the heater, but it also includes 2 20-pound propane tanks, one for use and then one as a backup,
Yes.
which is really important. So again, safe, secure, volunteers come and do a checkup and make sure that they are being utilized properly. One is $125, just $125, and you're making sure that someone is going to be able to survive the cold Iowa winter. For 5 of those heater systems, $625, and then $1,250 is 10 of those heater systems, and Joppa volunteers coming and checking and making sure that they are being used properly.
So heater systems, of course, require fuel to operate each week. Joppa delivers heat to all those without homes all winter, so let's hear more about why that heater fuel is needed to help people survive the winter.
The Joppa organization has made certain that I've had propane and a propane heater that is legal and fit to have in my tent. It's kept me warm this winter. Without the heaters that Joppa's supplying, I'd have been in trouble.
If it wasn't for these guys bringing me propane, I would have been dead somewhere, froze to death.
Okay, so just a reminder, you can do these donations under donation options, and donations are rolling in. You are doing a fantastic job.
Good on
There
you.
are people who are going to be able to, let's just put it this way, survive the Iowa winter in a shelter. There are people who are going to have heat, and of course, there has to be a source for that heat. They have to have fuel.
And these probably look familiar to you. This is the latest 20-pound propane tanks, just like you've got on your barbecue grill at home. This is the safest form of heater fuel available.
It's important thing as well. Now, each person that experiences homelessness during the winter receives a primary tank, so one of those 20-pound tanks, and then they get an extra tank as a backup in case they run out of fuel in the midweek. And of course, just because Joppa is amazing, they make sure to send people out for checkups and make sure that the propane is being used properly, that everything is safe, and to make sure that nobody's running out too soon.
So once again, the giving levels for these, you can find them under the donation options. $600 is going to provide fuel for 10 people for 1 month. $300 will provide for 5 people for 1 month. For just $60, you're taking care of one person for a whole month.
Wow, $60. That will provide the fuel that one person needs to survive the Iowa winter. And it is by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Joppa actually goes and delivers this propane to the people that they need it. So volunteers will go out and deliver, they'll check on people, make sure they're okay, and your $60 donation gets that fuel for one person for 1 month, $300 is 5 people for a month, and $600, 10 people for a month.
This is just a really, really useful thing. I love, once again, coming in, checking on people, delivering things week by week. It's not sitting there on the side saying, oh, yeah, I need to get that replaced, but I don't have time to do it. They're coming in, making sure it happens. $600 going to keep 10 people warm for a whole month.
And you know what? In a little bit, we're going to find out why it's so important that Joppa sends people to the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Send people to the homeless people who need their help, because we're going to find out in a little bit the primary mode of transportation for people who are experiencing homelessness and why it's really important that what's on their feet is key. And how's this for a transition? Up next is warm winter survival boots.
You're ready.
Durable, waterproof boots are essential when living outdoors in the winter, as you're about to see.
The hardest thing about being homeless in the winter is not having the right gear to transport myself from one place to the other. My shoes, if my shoes get wet, they fail. My feet get cold, I'm unable to function.
You have to keep dry feet. You know, once your feet go out, then it's done. There's some people I know that wake up to their hands and feet, being frostbitten.
Right. Now, those are some boots. Those are boots that are going to help somebody who is experiencing homelessness survive the winter. Those are some pretty nice boots, Taylor.
These are nice boots. They've got warm wool socks that are going to come with those.
Oh, there's socks in there?
Yeah. These are the real kind. These are the super warm ones, which are really important. I mean, I don't even think about some of the things that the homeless community has to deal with, things like frostbite and trench foot. These are life-threatening foot-related diseases. Basically, if your feet are gone, if you're cold, if you're wet, you're kind of done for the day.
I had no idea until today that on average, somebody who is experiencing homelessness walks about 20 miles a day. And you can imagine in the Iowa ice and slush and snow that it is so important that their feet stay dry and warm. The wool socks and those amazing boots help with that. One pair of those boots, your donation of $90 puts it on the feet of somebody who's experiencing homelessness. If you donate $450, that's 5 pair of boots, and 10 pair of boots, $900.
If you've ever been hiking, you know what a difference it makes to have high quality footwear. This is exactly that. I mean, you take a look at these, they're insulated, they're waterproof, they are high quality. They are gonna last a long time, keep your feet warm, keep your feet supported. So let's see some of those $900 donations, 10 pairs of boots going out to people for that. At $450, you're gonna provide 5 pairs of boots. For just $90, you're providing a pair of boots for someone in need.
High insulated, very good hiking boots, durable, insulated, warm, waterproof. You probably remember seeing in the video, I mean, if your feet get cold and wet and you have to walk 20 miles a day, it's just not comparable. It doesn't work. So it's important that their feet stay warm. It's important that their feet stay dry. It's something that I don't even think about because I'm going inside and outside my warm house, taking off my shoes, not thinking about the fact that there are people who rely on having really dry and warm boots. $90. That's 1 pair of those boots. And then 5 boots, $450, and 10 boots, $900.
Well, here's the cool thing. You're actually going to get 5 pairs of boots, not just 5.
Oh, I said 5 boots?
Yeah, so
well, that would be
you don't
interesting.
have to have someone hopping around. This is really, really good news.
Me and math, we don't go very well together.
Now, our final Fun to Need item tonight is the new Homeless Resource Center. Joe talked a little about the Resource Center earlier, but to really get a picture of what this place will look like when construction is finished, here's a tour featuring our very own Joppa staff.
Hi, welcome to Joppa. Come on in. I'll show you our new Joppa Center. As you can see, we are under construction and we are so excited to expand our reach to help those in need. Here are some of our staff members to show you a sneak peek at each area.
Hi, I'm Joe, and this is our Homeless Resource Center, which will feature a warm, welcoming environment and a bathroom, drinking fountains and water bottle filling stations, and a microwave sandwich and coffee bar, computer stations and places to charge your phone, a clothing and supplies closet, a service window to pick up your mail and supplies.
Hi, I'm Stacie, and this is our Homeless Education Center, where we educate adults and students about homelessness, as well as conduct other activities like art therapy for individuals experiencing homelessness.
Hi, I'm Caleb. This is our Volunteer Launch Center and Lounge, where we conduct volunteer orientation and effectiveness training.
Hi, I'm Kim. This is our Outreach and Aftercare Center, where we organize carts with food, water, and supplies for our volunteer teams to take on our aftercare and outreach visits every week.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and this is our Homeless Nutrition Center, where we manage more than 100,000 pounds of food and nearly 10,000 meals to be delivered to those in need each year.
Hi, Wendy here. This is our warehouse and donation center, where we organize and store our donations and supplies.
Hi, I'm Jacki, and this is our Joppa headquarters and counseling offices, where our dedicated staff is hard at work on our mission.
Hi, I'm Pat, and this is Supplies and Donation Dock, where you can conveniently just drive up and drop off your donations.
And that's our tour. Now we just need your help funding the project so we can be ready to open the new Homeless Resource Center early next year.
You are doing great. The thermometer is going up and the donations are rolling in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're making a difference.
Winter survival kits, boots, heat, propane, all of it. It's all fantastic and it's all needed. Now, you ready? Here's the biggie. This is the big finale. We are excited to announce for this final item, we have matching funds.
Matching funds.
Matching funds. So if you purchase any of the 3 Fun to Need options for the new Homeless Resource Center, your donation is going to be matched dollar for dollar. I love a deal, and this is a deal. This is a real game changer for Des Moines and Central Iowa, and all the more important now that so many people are being evicted from their apartments. I mean, this is dollar for dollar, so your donation is doubled.
We are going to help provide a warm, welcoming environment with the Homeless Resource Center.
Which is what we're standing in right now.
Yeah.
This is the new Homeless Resource Center where we're standing. And I mean, this is just a small area right now. This is a 12,000-foot area. And when they're done, I think maybe February, I know beginning of 2021, they're all nodding at me back there, yes. February is when we hope it's all going to be done. This place is going to be amazing. It's going to be staffed for people to come in and to be able to get help finding a job or finding homes. There's going to be a computer center where people can check their email and charge their phones. There's always going to be drinks and coffee. There's always going to be a caseworker here helping them. I mean, this is going to be a big deal. But I think one of the biggest deals that we talked about is that this is where people who are experiencing homelessness can come and have fellowship and connection.
It's just come in, talk to real people who are going to hear you, who are going to care about you, who are going to meet those physical and emotional needs. Remember, generous donor, matching your gifts. So if you make a $5,000 donation, that turns into $10,000. Just
Bam!
like that.
Just
Bam.
like that. Buy one, get one free. I love that kind of stuff. If you make a $2,500 donation, it's $5,000. If you make a $1,000 donation, it's $2,000. You can do that math.
So-
I can do that math. You can do that math.
This is our last item of the night, so if you've been waiting around, if you've been seeing what's going on, this is your time to give. This is your time to involve. We want to finish strong tonight. Your gift is doubled.
I mean, this is going to be such a big deal, and it's going to be done in 2021 because all good things are happening in 2021, right? Everything's happening in 2021. Again, last item of the night, your gift is doubled, $1,000 doubled to $2,000, $2,500 doubled to $5,000, and $5,000 doubled to $10,000.
Just think about when you're not sure where you're going to be able to go, where you're going to be able to sleep, what you're going to be able to eat, knowing that here is a place that this is your home base. You're going to come in, it's warm. You've got survival supplies, blankets, clothing, hygiene items.
Always ready, always available.
You know there are people here who care about you, who are going to provide for you.
Yeah, and I mean, you can come in and use a computer. You can come in and you can work on your resumes. You can come in and you can do so much. It's just going to be an amazing, as we said, an amazing game changer for Des Moines and Central Iowa. It's like something that we've not had before. But last item of the night, and your gift is doubled. So now's the time to do it.
So we are coming up on the end of our 12th annual Down and Out Homeless Fundraiser. Thank you for being involved. Now, as a reminder, please make sure you have checked out your cart.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave anything on
Nope,
there.
don't leave
you
it
don't
in
want to do
there.
when you log on and all of a sudden, oh man, I've had that movie in there for forever. You can still give a tax-deductible gift to Joppa by clicking that blue donate button. You can still purchase any of our Fund a Need items listed under donation options.
You've been amazing. Thank you so much. We have enjoyed being your MCs this evening. And to close out our event, I'd like to welcome back Joe.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Taylor. And thank you all for joining us tonight. Stay tuned for a special message from some of our clients in just a few seconds. But because of your support, we can help homeless people survive this winter and continue investing in fundamental solutions to end homelessness. Please visit our website at joppa.org, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to learn more about Joppa and find ways to get involved. You know, we're not far away from our goal. We are less than $150,000 from the goal, and we can still get there over the next few days. You can always contribute online at joppa.org, or you can call me personally. My mobile phone is 515-306-3275. Thank you for supporting Joppa during this difficult and unprecedented year. And on behalf of everyone here at Joppa, thank you for tuning in. And now, here's a special message just for you.
Thank you, Joppa.
Thank you, Joppa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joppa. Thank you, Joppa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thank God that the Joppa organization was there.
Thanks, Joppa.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you, and thank you.
Thank God for Joppa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I thank you.
All of this is thanks to Joppa. Thanks to Joppa. Thank God, Joppa.
Thank God for you guys and your donors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joppa.